Hello, everyone. Just wanted to give you a quick update on our St. Croix Central High School gradebook for our standards-based grading. We had a math teacher design a spreadsheet through Google that did calculations and provides great access for parents and students to see exactly what's happening every step of the way. So I'm going to show you the overall look of it, and then I will specifically show you what parents and students will be able to see through what's called a tiny URL. So each parent will be able to use that at any time to get in and see live grades, and the students will as well. So I'm looking forward to showing you that, and here we go. So this is a roster created by with just teachers' names and such. So it's just a mock, obviously a mock gradebook. But and this will not be seen by parents. But just so you know, we have every student listed. We have their teacher listed, and then their email and their ID number for just for our use, and then the long link, and then the short link, the tiny URL, if you will, for where they can click and get to their grades. So that's one window. We also will have, sorry, let me back up here. So then the next tab that will be listed are the standards, and that information is placed into the student's grade book so they can see how they're doing on each of the standards. I'll show you that in just a second. We obviously have a place to record assessment data, just like we would on a regular grade book. And then there's information here about how we're doing, each student's doing on each of the standards. So standard A, B, C, D, where they're at in their progression of achievement. And obviously we want to get as many students as we can to advanced, or what we call a 4. But this helps us keep track. It helps the student keep track, and certainly the parent as well. In terms of growth, you can see the trend for, this is standard A only, and you can see that the trend for Mr. Fern started out as a 1, and over time in practice, he has earned up to the 4. You can see down here, this is mine. I started at a 2, got to a 3, and then have been at a 4 since. It's important to highlight here that students are assessing more than one time on specific standard. It is not a one and done situation. So this would be a template for the students. They have their standard, and then their scores would go across here, which I'll show you in just a minute. So this is the student parent view. So this is mine, and so what it tells me is on standard A, on this date, we called it quiz. We may not call it a quiz. It may be something else, formative something or whatever. Doesn't matter. But there's the date. Here's the standard, and this is what I achieved, and then you can see the progression. This information ties directly back to my growth. This is primarily what you'll see as students and parents. And so we can keep track. And here lies the major difference between standards-based and traditional grading, is that rather than it be quiz 1, I got question 1 wrong, question 2 right, question 3, now it tells us what standards are hit on each of the assessments, if you will. So in quiz 1, I obviously hit on standard A and standard B. On quiz 2, we hit on standard A again, and we hit on standard C this time, and you'll notice that B was not hit. But then we went back, and again, this is just an example. So this now says test, but let's say it says quiz 3 or quiz 4, some sort of another assessment of this. You can see that in this one, all 3 of them were assessed. Standard A was assessed, standard B was assessed, and standard C was assessed. And so now we can see exactly what standard and how our children are performing on those standards. Extremely powerful, very informative. And it's informative not just for the parent, but for the teachers and the students as well. So that is the grade book as it stands now that has been created. Special thank you to Carolyn Lent for her work on this. Just did a wonderful job, and we continue to grow it and evolve it. and look forward to that growth and sharing that with you. I will note that as we go through a quarter, the grades will remain in that tiny URL, and then we will put them into the standard gradebook, if you will, via Skyward that we've always used. So if you need information on how those grades are converted, I would encourage you to go back and look at, there's a 30-minute video that I created on Screencastify about that. I would say the first 15 minutes is just a general introduction and some of the nuts and bolts of standards-based grading and how we operate here at the high school. And then the last 15 minutes or so is on the conversion. So I'm working on splitting that up so it's not quite as long a video, but I would encourage you to go to that. That link was in our family newsletter, and I can also send that out again as well so that people have that information. If not, you can certainly go to YouTube. Just search my name, Kurt Soderberg, and get on my channel, and you'll see all the videos that I've created there. So have a great day. Go Panthers.